In the bustling city of Cyprus in 300 BC, there lived a prosperous trader named Zeno. His wealth and success were undeniable, the result of years of dedication and hard work. However, fate had other plans. On a voyage from Phoenicia to Piraeus, Zeno's ship was swallowed by the sea, taking with it all his cargo and in an instant his entire fortune. Imagine stepping into Zeno's shoes. How would you react if everything you had built, everything you had worked tirelessly for, was washed away by an event completely beyond your control? Would you be overcome with anger? Would despair consume you? Would you feel as if life had cheated you? For most people, these would be natural responses. But for Zeno, the man who would later lay the foundation of Stoicism, the reaction was quite different. A single moment can change a lifetime, and one shift in perspective can set off a chain reaction that alters the course of history. At the heart of Stoicism lies acceptance and the ability to remain indifferent to external events. After reading the works of Socrates and other great thinkers, Zeno began developing and teaching what would become the Stoic philosophy. He realized that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to it. Rather than lamenting his misfortune, Zeno chose to remain composed. He refused to let external circumstances dictate his internal state. This mindset became the cornerstone of Stoicism, a philosophy that continues to influence millions to this day. Modern society often misinterprets Stoicism, viewing Stoics as emotionless, unbreakable individuals who suppress their feelings. However, the original philosophy was never about being cold or detached. It was about understanding and mastering one's emotions. Stoicism is not just a way to describe a personality trait. It is a lens through which we can interpret and navigate the world. It is a way of life that has endured for centuries and remains just as relevant today as it was in ancient times. Stoicism provides us with the tools to process negative emotions and turn them into something meaningful. It teaches us that perspective is everything, and no two people will see the world in exactly the same way because their experiences shape their outlook. The ancient Stoics believed that wisdom should be shared, not confined to elite institutions. They gathered in public spaces, openly discussing their ideas so that anyone, regardless of social standing, could learn and benefit. As a result, Stoicism was embraced by individuals from all walks of life, from slaves to emperors. Among its most renowned practitioners were Epictetus, a former slave whose name translates to acquired, Seneca, a statesman and philosopher, and Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor considered one of history's most powerful men. The Stoics practiced what they preached, advocating for equality and rejecting social segregation. In fact, they coined the word cosmopolitan, which means citizen of the world, a term we now associate with diverse cities like New York, London, and Dubai. At the time of Stoicism's inception, women were often excluded from philosophical pursuits. However, the Stoics defied societal norms. Musonius Rufus, the teacher of Epictetus, argued passionately for the inclusion of women in philosophical discussions. He stated, "It is not men alone who possess eagerness and a natural inclination toward virtue, but women also." Despite societal constraints, Stoic philosophy welcomed women, recognizing their equal potential for wisdom and virtue. So why do so many people turn to Stoicism today? In a world of unpredictability, emotions can cloud our judgment. Interestingly, we don't typically get upset because something bad happens. We get upset because something bad happens unexpectedly. Take rain, for example. It nourishes the earth, sustains wildlife, and cools the air. Yet when it catches us unprepared, we see it as an inconvenience. Why don't we break down in tears every time it rains? Because we expect it. We understand. That rain is an inevitable part of life. Stoicism teaches us to apply this same mindset to all misfortunes. Expect that hardships will come. Envision the worst-case scenario and accept that it may happen. One key Stoic exercise, voluntary discomfort, is designed to increase gratitude. It involves temporarily embracing hardship, sleeping on the floor, taking cold showers, eating plain food, to remind ourselves that we can endure discomfort and still thrive. This practice strengthens mental resilience and prepares us for future adversity. In today's consumer-driven society, we are constantly bombarded with messages that tell us we need more money, more possessions, more success to be happy. But Stoicism teaches the opposite. It warns against tying our happiness to external factors because those factors are beyond our control. Cars break down, markets crash, relationships end. When we define our happiness by things outside of ourselves, we place our well-being in the hands of fate. Instead, Stoicism urges us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, our choices, our actions. Seneca once wrote, "Learning to live with less creates space in your life for what truly matters." Happiness should be rooted in our intrinsic value, not in what we own. Stoicism reminds us that while we cannot dictate what happens in the world, we can determine how we respond to it. This is the essence of the Stoic principle known as the dichotomy of control. Epictetus put it simply, the chief task in life is to distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. If we define success by things we cannot control, we set ourselves up for disappointment. But if we measure success by our effort and intentions, we can find fulfillment regardless of the outcome. Consider a modern example: YouTube content creation. A creator spends weeks brainstorming, scripting, filming, and editing a video. But once they hit the upload button, control shifts to the YouTube algorithm. Many creators judge their success by views and subscribers, metrics beyond their control. A Stoic approach, however, would be to define success by the effort and dedication put into the work, not by external validation. Trust the process. Stoicism also teaches us to reframe setbacks. Suppose a hard-working employee is denied a promotion. He may assume he's inadequate, not considering external factors like company finances or office politics. Instead of seeing the rejection as a failure, he could view it as a delay. With this perspective shift, his goal remains intact, just postponed. A true Stoic measures success by personal growth, not by material rewards. At the heart of Stoicism are four virtues: wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Wisdom is the ability to distinguish between what we can and cannot control. Victor Frankl summarized this idea. Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space lies our power to choose our response. Courage is the ability to persist through hardship and resist destructive impulses. Temperance is moderation, finding balance and avoiding excess. Justice is the most important virtue. Stoics believed in acting ethically, treating others with fairness and kindness, and striving for the greater good. One of the greatest examples of Stoicism in action is Nelson Mandela. Imprisoned for 27 years, he refused to let bitterness define him. Instead of seeking revenge, he chose reconciliation, guiding South Africa toward peace. Throughout his time in prison, he read the works of Marcus Aurelius and embraced Stoic principles, demonstrating that even in the darkest moments, one can maintain dignity and inner strength. Today, Stoicism forms the foundation of therapies like rational emotive behavioral therapy, REBT, and logotherapy. These methods help individuals identify irrational thoughts, replace them with logic, and find purpose even in suffering. Ultimately, Stoicism is about mastering our minds. By shifting our focus from external circumstances to internal resilience, we can navigate life's storms with clarity and strength. And if, in the end, our ship still sinks, we can take comfort in knowing we lived well, with purpose, wisdom, and peace.